Hello there, it's Jackie here. So in this video, I actually want to talk about how you are your own motivational speaker. You're your own guru, because people forget this. People really forget it. And I've talked to people a lot in the past, especially in sessions where this has come up, this concept has come up as a priority to not only address, which usually goes into deeper concepts of self-belief and backing yourself and having confidence and addressing traumatic events that people have been through. But quite often what I find is that when we talk about this and we talk about you are your own guru, be your own guru, give yourself your own motivational speech. Somebody will quite often invariably say, yeah, I know this. And that's when the idea really hits those first few layers of the mind where there is, I was going to say, not only rejection was the first word that came up for me, quite often parts of the mind, and it's parts of ourself that reject this idea. So we might say, yeah, I know, but we don't really. We don't get it. We don't believe in it. So there could be rejection, and there could be some kind of limitation or sabotage or boundary in there. So the mind is really powerful, like unbelievably powerful, and it can do pretty much anything. So it's very important that we are recognizing that we have the ability to make sure that the mind is working in really constructive ways for us, like it's on our team, rather than destructive ways against us. All right. So I want to talk really quickly, but just very honestly, about how you absolutely are. When I say this, it's because you are, because I know this to be to my core, is that you are your own guru. Now, it can be phenomenal to really resonate with somebody else. It can be anybody. You resonate with them, with what they're saying or how they say it, or the energy that's coming through their messaging, or whatever it is. You might find that you really resonate with what somebody's putting out, and you might listen to it, you might learn from it, you might go into your own process of remembering parts of yourself through what they're sharing. And that's great. That's really great. The issue becomes when you have decided at some point in your life that your happiness and your ability to heal and repair and your ability to change and grow and evolve is based on other people being your guru. And that is the case for a lot of people, even people that don't realize that that's there for them. Now, if as I was saying this, it kind of made you push back a little bit and you go, that's not me. I don't think other people are my guru. I know I'm my own guru. Then I'm going to challenge you and say that you do have some kind of a structure in the mind, right, in your consciousness, that really looks to others to give you what you need, or to be your guru. So there'll be some belief system there that says, I'm not happy unless they give me this, or I can't change unless I get access to this that they give me, or I can't repair unless I see them and they give me this, right? So we're just got to really be open and be willing to question our own belief systems. And the reason why I say, if you notice a little bit of pushback, then this is when there is a belief system in the mind, because I don't want to go off into a totally different topic here, but what the consciousness does in all the different levels of the mind, the subconscious, the subconscious, so on and so forth, they have, in amongst other things, because it's a big, wide open space, they have belief systems. And the mind is great, and I mean great, at protecting those belief systems and actually working hard to make sure that those belief systems are as well set up and structured as they possibly can. So if I'm speaking with you like I am now, and I propose to you, hey, there could be a possibility where you are giving your power away and letting someone else produce your supposed happiness for you. That part of the mind with that belief system will say, nope, nope, that's not true. Nope, nope, nope. And that is because there is a belief system that sits there where that part of the mind is protecting at all costs. So it will be a belief system that says something to the effect of, what's a quick one I can grab? My happiness is based off other people supplying me with X, Y, Z. Or I'm not happy unless they give me something that makes me happy. Everyone's is different. All right. So we just need to be aware that majority of people do have these kinds of belief systems. And just having the awareness that something like that can be in some level of the mind goes a huge, long way in changing that. Because you really do want to get to the place where you completely embody the knowledge that you are your own guru and that you can appreciate and respect and love other people's inner guru and what they're able to share with you, but you ultimately are your own guru. All right. And the reason why this is in place for majority of people is because we are conditioned from very, 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 very little to look outside ourselves, to the world, to other people for our happiness, to gauge our self-worth, to see whether we are accepted or acceptable or lovable, right? So that's where that process very, very quickly takes place, where our natural inner guru that was there at birth starts to shave off and disassociate. So we get to very, very early childhood and it's nearly non-existent, right? For some people, it might still be there and you might see a glimmer of that. You might see it in kids where you can look back now and you can think, gosh, that kid really was in touch with their inner guru. But as they get older, quite often through a lot of experiences in life and through a lot of conditioning and stresses and so forth, a lot of conditioning through our society, throughout the way that our world and our communities and our governments are structured, it beats the living hell out of somebody else's own inner guru. And I think it's about time that we stepped back into that. Not only stepped back into that memory, that remembering that we are our own inner guru. I am my own inner guru, right? Not even up for debate. It's not a question. I know it to be true. And because I know it to be true, it now means A, B, C, D. It really does start to change the trajectory of things. And one of the things that I would propose then, this came up in somebody's session a couple of weeks ago, is that as your inner guru, I would love it if you would write yourself a motivational speech, right? So it's not saying that you can't get it off somebody else. You can't hear a great motivational speech. Remember, it's got to be with something that you resonate with. And you've really got to establish a feel that it's coming from somebody that has good energy. And what I mean by good energy is integrity, because there's a whole lot of people that do not have integrity, that place themselves in a leadership or some type of a higher class, upper class role, and they don't have integrity. So just because somebody can be on TV or they have their own YouTube channel, or somebody's promoting them or something, doesn't mean that they are a person of integrity. So it's very important that you're not just hearing the words and thinking, that's a great motivational speech, I love that, I'll have that for me. But you're actually taking some moments to tune into that person, get a feel for, they on the wavelength that I would want to be taking information from. Because if they are not a person of an open heart and has integrity and empathy and compassion, then I absolutely don't want to be taking my motivational speech from them, no matter how good the words are. So you've got to be really picky what you're connecting to. What I would suggest is to write your own motivational speech. And it can be anything. It can be as long as you want it to be. And I've written one as an example, okay? Now, I've just kind of halfway through the process of writing my new one for myself. And that really aligns with where I am right now and what my focus is over the next few months. I can't tell you how powerful this is. So you can write your own motivational speech. And if you need help doing that, then really resource the interwebs and look at other motivational speeches and look at how they're written and whether they're written in the present tense, which a lot of them will be, because you're having a conversation with yourself and with your reality, the world around you, your universe, of how life is for you now. So be very careful that you're not wording it in a way where it's something that's going to happen. Because the only thing that your consciousness pays attention to in that part is, well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen the next day. It's going to happen the next day. It's going to happen. It'll forever be something that's just going to keep happening. It's in the future. It's not happened yet. So you really need to be wording things as though it's here, it's now, this is your reality. Because every single cell is listening to the resonance of your words, the consciousness that comes from that motivational speech. It pays attention to the way that your sensory system, so hearing, smell, sight, taste, and touch, I think I got them all, is really connecting in with the imagery and what it sounds like and what it feels like and all, what that experience that you're talking about in your motivational speech, what that looks like in the bigger picture of things. And this, all the intelligence inside your cells gets on board and it responds to what it is that you're saying. So if your motivational speech is really powerful and it's really strong and it is motivational in great ways, your cells in your body are going to respond to that in that way. Your consciousness in your body-mind complex is going to respond to, and it'll change from what it has been into what it needs to be. And it will start not only changing the way that your body works, it'll change the way that your mind works. It'll change the way that you are viewing the world around you. And it will just start to change the opportunities that come into your life, the way that manifestation unfolds, so on and so forth. So it doesn't have to be about something that you want or where you're going to go or something. It can be about you, your relationship with you, and maybe what you want to shift into, who you want to become. So maybe you want to change from somebody who's being maybe where you have the mind that looks at things in a bit of a negative way. Maybe the mind says, oh, nothing ever works out for me, or I'm sick of things feeling so hard, or I'm lonely, or something like that. And we want to shift the mind into actually seeing the absolute opposite. So it's really good for anyone who's having those kinds of experiences and you've noticed that the mind is shifting that way, because then it becomes well, it's always going to be a personal experience, but you can really turn it inward and focus on how you are experiencing yourself and the world around you. So let me give you the example one that I wrote, and it needs to be very powerful. And then I'm going to give you a few tips, all right? You want to be able to say this, first tip one, at least in the morning when you wake up, pretty much before you do anything significant, and then you want to do it before you go to bed, okay? Let me take you through the motivational speech. Today, I will approach everything that comes my way with respect and appreciation, including myself, whom I love and appreciate deeply. So that is a motivational speech. It becomes your I am, your truth. And another tip that I would give you is, if you really, when you write it, you think, I'm not feeling that, or I'm not that. I would love to be that, but I'm not that. And especially you want to write it from the perspective of, this is your inner guru. And if you had your inner guru in front of you, what would your inner guru want to tell you? And how would it say that? And then just let your inner guru write it through you. Okay? If you are really connecting in with it, but you're feeling disconnected from it, in other words, you recognize you're not there yet. You want to be, but you're not there yet. What I would do is really engage, and this is the second thing, is really engage all of your 5 senses as much as you can with the visuals and with the energy and with the sound of your motivational speech. So you have to see it when you say it. You have to really visualize it. You have to be able to feel it. And one way that will help you to do that is by saying it repetitiously. One of the reasons why it is the best practice possible is to say it morning and afternoon. Is the more you say it, the more often you say it, the quicker this hardwires in. Anything can hardwire into your body-mind complex. Remember that. Anything. We can unwire stuff and disassociate it. But we're being choosy. We're saying, I'm going to hardwire this in very deliberately. And we know that it takes, at least for the head brain and the mind, to really do what it needs to do to hardwire this in to our neurology, is it needs about 21 days. Now, it takes up quicker and hardwires in through other levels of our body-mind complex. But we really want to focus on it, that motivational speech being in practice at least morning and night for 21 days. My suggestion is, don't ever stop with your motivational speeches. Once you have embodied something and it's shifted into that, you can change it out for another motivational speech if you want to. If you get really good and find this, you get to the point where you feel like it's a really simplified process for you, you've really got comfortable with it, you've got a great relationship with your inner guru and your motivational speeches, you can actually, have a couple going at the same time. You might say one in the morning and one at night. The point is, this process is meant to not feel uncomfortable to you or foreign to you, as it will for a lot of us when we first start, but that it becomes so comfortable and so second nature. It's like it's already integrated into your being. It's part of your fiber. All right. So definitely morning and night. And my last tip for you is, if you're really lacking a lot of confidence and struggling to connect in with your motivational speech that your inner guru has given you, is place your feet hips width apart, and then you grab your hands and you place your hands on your hips and you stick your chest out. right? This is the Superman pose. And the Superman pose has been shown to really have a gigantic impact on our psychology and on the mind. And it helps you to feel strong and powerful. And what I have noticed, not only from my own experience, but when I've had clients and students do this, is that when they took up the Superman pose and when they engaged as much of their senses as they can when they're going through their motivational speech, is not only was it so much easier to connect into the truth of the motivational speech, that it was true for them, true for somebody else, but true for you, okay? And that it came about, it really integrated in through the body-mind complex and then calibrated in there, so made changes much, much quicker than to say, if they're just going to sit there and read from a piece of paper, today I'll approach everything that comes my way with respect and appreciation, okay? You really need to connect with this like it's your truth. My last tip, I think I said the last one was the last, but it was not, because I just forgot this, that I needed to add this one, is that you can do this a few different ways. Yes, you can write it on a piece of paper and you can read it. I am not recommending that though. I actually would, you can write it on a piece of paper, but when you read it, you have to say it out loud. And I want you to say it out loud where you perhaps sticking it on a mirror, so that you can stand in front of the mirror and see you and see your brilliance and see your inner guru and see your sentience, your consciousness. And you can stand there in Superman pose and you can say it out loud and with conviction, because that's what the guru does. It speaks with motivational conviction. So you have to become that. The other suggestion is that you can record it as an audio. So record it on your phone as an audio, and then as you're listening to it, you can listen to the first bit of the sentence, such as, today I'll approach everything. So you might listen to that, then you'll pause it. And you might say it, today I'll approach everything. And then you can play the next bit and say it. That's especially going to be really good if you're just getting to know your motivational speech. Another thing that I would recommend doing is recording yourself doing it. So taking a video of you doing a motivational speech. And this can be good for doing it, say, if you're on the run and you need to watch it and you need to say it to yourself as you're doing it. It can take on a completely different level of awareness when you are watching yourself back, that is in this place of strength and power and courage and conviction. When you see yourself in Superman pose and giving yourself the motivational speech back, holy cow, is that just powerful? So take those suggestions, run with it. If you would like to share your motivational speech with me, I would love to hear it. I really, really would. So pop it into the comments. And one of the things that I probably will do is, there's another video that you may not have seen, and it's a video where I take you through an exercise that shows you the importance of building body awareness. But what this exercise does and what it shows you is how every single one of your cells in the body responds to the thoughts that you're producing. Okay, so it's a really great exercise or experiment that gives you instant responses to the way that we do that. So I'll link that down into the comments, because it just gives you another layer of seeing how important it is to be really focusing on what it is that you want, how you want it, choosing your words wisely, bringing the types of people and their messages and their energies into your reality that are most nurturing for you, and nothing else, everything else goes. Okay. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Would love to hear your motivational speech. You know where you can find me, JacquieMcIntyre.com. Subscribe, don't subscribe, hit the bell button, don't hit the bell button. You're going to do what you're going to do. All right. I'll see you later. Bye for now.